Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I will hit rewind and talk about things going on in the video to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think were done right and or wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I'm Captain Stacy Spell, Commanding Officer of Media Relations Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. This critical incident community briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred in Pacific Division in the city of Los Angeles on July 26, 2021 at around 6 a.m. You're about to see relevant video footage and learn about other evidence and police procedures related to the case, so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know right now. The LAPD conducts very thorough use of force investigations, which typically require investigators to interview multiple witnesses, view numerous hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. We're still at the very early stages of this investigation, which can often take up to a year to complete, and our understanding of the incident may change as this additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. We also do not draw any conclusions about whether the officers acted consistent with our policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is complete. A word of caution: the images and information you are about to see may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers. Officers assigned to Pacific Division Patrol responded to a radio call of a hot prowl burglary at a residence in the 3700 block of Berry Avenue. Here are the corresponding radio calls from this incident.
Pacific Units 449 hot prowl, Berry Avenue, standby for additional incident 699. Pacific Units 14825, additional 459 hot prowl, Berry Avenue. Victim is in a where the pier has no suspect description. Here's glass breaking. Still on the line with her. Code 3 incident 699 RD 1435.
When officers arrived at the location of the call, they heard yelling and saw the suspect through a broken front window of the apartment. The suspect was in the living room, armed with a large kitchen knife, holding it against a woman and shielding himself behind her. As the officers walked toward the front door of the apartment, they gave the suspect multiple commands to drop the knife. However, he refused to comply, which resulted in an officer-involved shooting. That suspect was later identified as 58-year-old Hermengildo Gonzalez, Jr. Gonzalez was struck by the gunfire and fell to the ground. The Los Angeles Fire Department responded to the scene and determined Gonzalez deceased. No one else was injured during the incident. Body-worn video cameras are used by most officers assigned to field duties. They are worn at chest level and capture a general perspective within line of sight from that angle. The angle of the camera prohibits viewers from seeing everything the officers saw and experienced. Upon activation, both audio and video will turn on. However, body-worn video cameras have a buffer of video without audio from the previous 2 minutes prior to activation. This feature is designed to capture incidents that occur suddenly, where an officer doesn't immediately activate the camera. Here's body-worn video from the officers involved in this incident.
See your hands.
He wants to kill himself.
Drop the knife.
No.
Drop the knife.
No.
A13, let me get back up. Drop the knife. Drop the knife.
No, please, no. Don't kill him, no. Please, no. Don't kill him, no. No, you shouldn't have done that, please. I was opening the door, please, no.
See your hands.
Wants to kill himself.
Drop the knife.
No.
Drop the knife.
No.
A13, let me get back up. Drop the knife. Drop the knife.
No, please, no.
Rough.
Hold the air. You don't have a code 4 yet. Hold the air.
Where's the weapon? I don't see it. The weapon's right there.
Alright, let's hold the air until code 4.
Okay. Watch out for the weapons. Going to be right there on the left side.
Okay. We're good. Let's just hold on. We got plenty of officers in there, so we don't get that many in here.
Let's do it.
It's a small unit.
Clear? Clear? It's clear. It's so 4.
Code 4? Yeah. Put out code 4.
Advise up to you.
I got it.
You got it?
Shoulder? Yeah,
Buddy behind his head.
yeah, worry.
Anybody have a med kit?
I do.
Yeah.
It's just a seal.
Yeah, super tank.
Alright, we're doing CPR, guys.
Alright.
Let's start pumping on.
You're gonna do
Oh,
it?
units go for 3780 Prairie Avenue. Clear for empty enter.
Is it 608?
Anybody have a
Oh, go get the RA.
Investigators recovered Gonzalez's knife at the scene and booked it as evidence. Hermengildo Gonzalez Jr. was a 58-year-old resident of Los Angeles. In the next several months, the LAPD will continue to investigate and analyze this incident. We will continue interviewing any new witnesses that may come forward and complete any forensic tests. After the investigation is complete, our Critical Incident Review Division will forward their findings to the Chief of Police, who will make his recommendation to the Civilian Board of Police Commissioners. The board will evaluate the evidence to determine whether the officer's tactics, drawing, and exhibiting a weapon and use of deadly force in this instance met the high standards expected of all LAPD officers. If you would like more information on how the LAPD investigates all officer-involved shootings and other serious uses of force, visit lapdonline.org, where you can also find the LAPD's use of force policy and procedures. Thank you for taking the time to view this critical incident community briefing.
All right. This one is a pretty straightforward video. It's always someone who has to be upstairs. Like that's that's always where the trouble's going to be. It's somebody up some damn stairs. So obviously, the window has already been broken out, which is an advantage for them.
Wants to kill himself.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
No.
A13, let me get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
No, please, no. Don't kill him, no. Please, no. Don't kill him, no. You shouldn't have done that, please. I was opening the door, please, no.
So that was a pretty good shot. He does appear to have a red dot on his pistol. And you can only really tell from this angle because when he gets full extension on the arms, you can't really see the red dot on there. So I would say that this red dot did help him with his accuracy. And some people would be like, well, that was super close. What do you mean accuracy? Well, you'd be surprised about how many people would miss at such a close range. The officer here had a red dot on his pistol, and I do think that probably had a contributing factor in him making a more accurate shot. Red dots versus irons. Red dots are a little bit more accurate in my opinion, and I know I've mentioned this before. I haven't done a red dot video, but I do plan on doing a red dot video. We are starting to see more and more officers out there use red dot pistols. Actually, it wasn't not too long ago. At time of recording, it is August 31st, 2021. Just this month, if I remember correctly, the LAPD announced that they had bought some new guns, and I forget exactly who they decided to go with for this year, but I want to say they went with FN, and the pistols they chose to get, they are coming with red dots already on them. So there's the next, I don't know how many they ordered, but the next big allotment of guns that the LAPD is getting, they're going to be all red dot pistols. And there are other agencies out there who are making those transitions. I know here locally, the Western Kentucky University Police Department is actually going to be issuing red dots out to those who want them. And 10 years ago, that would be unheard of. 10 years ago, these red dots were not very, what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't very prevalent in the industry. And now, as far as defensive shooting goes in the private sector, lots of people have red dots on their guns, and now we're starting to see from the private sector moving into domestic law enforcement, we're starting to see more and more law enforcement officers use red dots. And it started out with those individual officers who are gun guys. They're the ones who started bringing this into the profession and introducing it to others and getting others on the, I don't want to call it bandwagon, but I'll just say bandwagon. They're the ones who started getting others on the bandwagon and start getting these red dots more popular. And now agencies are buying these things. And red dots for brand new shooters, brand new rookies, it is a whole lot easier, I think, to get them trained on that versus to take your more senior people who've been brought up on iron sights and trying to get them transitioned over to red dots. So I do think that the red dots would be easier to get new hires trained on versus trying to get all the old dogs trained on them. And I do think that red dots are more accurate than iron sights and allow you to get faster hits on target than you can with an iron sight. But this is not a red dot video, and I will be making a red dot video, so keep your eyes open for that. But anyway, this red dot equipped pistol, I think, was a good contributing factor in him being able to make such an accurate shot at this close distance with a hostage in the way.
Drop the knife!
No.
So right now, yeah, well, from our angle, there's some opening right here, but it's not very clear.
A13, let me get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
As soon as she drops down and she gives him this window of opportunity, he takes it. And he delivers one shot, and it immediately incapacitates the threat.
No, please, no, don't kill him, no, please, no, don't, no.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Let me get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
No, please, no, don't kill him, no.
Pretty good shot.
Wants to kill himself.
Drop the knife!
No.
Drop the knife!
No.
A13, let me get back up. Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
No, please, no.
Now, of course, she makes the comment that he wants to kill himself. And so, it's very well, this could be another suicide by police type of incident. It happens a lot. And, you know, irregardless of this guy having suicidal ideations, the fact remains he had a knife and he had a hostage. And you just cannot assume that, he's not going to hurt this person. He very well could have, once he got to where he's wanting to go. If they were coming outside, he could have, very easily cut her throat once they were outside and then try to run, thinking the officers would stop and tend to her versus getting loose and after him. Or he could have pushed her over the railing, whatever. You just can't assume that, they're not actually going to do anything. You have to assume the worst and that they are going to do the worst. They are going to kill and bad things happen, and you have to stop those bad things from happening. As far as the shooting goes, no problem whatsoever. This guy, he did what he did, and he brought this upon himself. He wanted to take a hostage, and he played a stupid game. He won a stupid prize, just like over 90% of them do. Now, when they finally decide to make entry into the house, there's a time difference. So let me back this up a little bit more. We'll take a look at the timestamp. So we've got 6:02 on the timestamp here. And now it's 6:08. So there's some time in between when he gets shot and they go in there. About 6 minutes or so. We have no idea what these guys were doing in that meantime. They could have been getting more officers to stack up and go in. The two officers, after they shot him, they could have been dealing with the woman who's going off, and they just weren't immediately to go in there. I don't know. I have no idea what was going on in those 6 minutes that was in between him being shot and all these officers going in. But they finally decided to go in. And so far, we've got 3 officers that we can see. These officers over here are going in and doing a protective sweep of the house to make sure there aren't any other victims that might need medical aid, and to make sure there aren't any other threats that would come in behind them and attack them, like another family member who is pissed off that they just shot their family member and now they're going to get revenge. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 from the camera person. There's actually, I think, 1 or 2 more maybe in this back area.
Hold the air. You don't have a code 4 yet. Hold the air.
Where's the weapon? I don't see it.
The weapon's right there.
Alright, just hold the air until code 4.
Okay.
No one's kicking.
Watch out for the weapons going to be right there on the left
There's more and more people coming in. It's like a party.
Just hold on. We got plenty of officers in there, so we don't get that many in here.
Let's do it.
It's a small unit.
Clear? This is that's our window. Yeah, it's just clear. It's so 4.
Code 4?
Yeah.
Put on code 4.
Advise up to you.
I got it.
So by my count, there's already 10 officers in this apartment.
Shoulder?
Yeah, 6 code 4.
Somebody's behind his head.
Yeah, Lori. Thanks, man.
Anybody have a knife?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, make that 11. 11 officers. Now there's 12, 13, 14 about to come in through the door. Now there's 14 officers inside this apartment, and then you can see about 2 more outside. That's a lot of people for a very small, confined space for a scene that's already secured. And this is a crime scene, and that's a lot of people inside a little crime scene that they don't really need to be in there. So, I mean, once they came in here and they secured him and got him in cuffs, and then the others made the protective sweep. This guy who originally said, "Hey, hold off, we already got enough in here." He had the right mindset. You know, you want to preserve that crime scene and make sure people don't trample all over it. Would have liked to have seen someone a little bit more in charge, posting someone at the door, getting security on the crime scene there, and starting a list of all the people who've already been in there and who are coming in there and who are leaving, getting all that good information. And then realistically, I mean, does there need to be 13 officers here on this scene when it's over with, it's secure? So again, I would have liked to have seen someone in charge start telling these people to go do something. Go put up some crime scene tape. Go block off the intersection. Go start talking to witnesses. Something, instead of them just standing around watching this dude bleed out on the ground. Just a little, I don't know, just a little tiny little pet peeve of mine. I'm not a taxpayer in Los Angeles, but I am a taxpayer, and as a taxpayer, I expect better return on investment, I guess you could say. And what I see here is a bunch of government employees standing around doing nothing, and that always annoys the crap out of me as a taxpayer. But anyway, small little useless rant that doesn't really have anything to do with shooting, but it is kind of a Monday quarterback thing, I guess you could say. Not much else to talk about this video. As I said before, this guy, he brought it upon himself. He got himself shot because he took a hostage and he had a big old Michael Myers knife, and was threatening. So if you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.